Welcome to the introduction to data analysis with MS Excel. We're learning about data analysis in MS Excel, introduction to that, and data cleaning in MS Excel, then performing the data analysis, and at last how we can do data visualization. So in the previous module, we learned about data analysis, what it is, why is it used, and the types of analysis that you can use, and also the entire process behind data analysis. So you might have an idea about data analysis by now, what exactly it is. So in this chapter, we'll be just having an introduction of that in MS Excel, how we can use data analysis in MS Excel, and how MS Excel can help us perform it, since there are a lot of tools out there to perform data analysis. There are a lot of coding languages like Python and R. There are a lot of engines like PySpark, which is an analytical engine. Yes, there are so many things out there. SQL can be used for that, but still MS Excel is something that you're going to encounter whenever you find a data analysis role. It's used by everyone, and a lot of analysis stuff and a lot of cleaning also is done in Excel. You can do a lot in Python or any other languages. It's a lot more efficient for performing big data. Excel is not that good at performing for big data because you cannot go through thousands and thousands of rows and millions of that. There's a limit to the number of rows that are displayed in Excel, right? But Excel is still used by every data analyst out there. And let's understand it from the point of view how Excel can use data analysis, okay? And how MS Excel can be the tool that you might only need to perform analysis. You might not need anything else. So data analysis, which is an important ability, this can help us make better decisions, okay? Since Excel is used a lot, especially with tools like pivot tables or even solver, which is a part of it. So there's a what if analysis that we can use to gather different scenario outcomes for the data that we have. And that's why Excel is still way more popular than a lot of other tools. So what Excel allows us to do is to analyze and interpret data in a variety of ways. You might think of big data, which we cannot deal much with in Excel. But still, if you want to get started with analysis, Excel can help you do that, even with you a small data. So suppose you have a data of 40 columns or 2,000 or 5,000, 50,000 rows. You can use Excel for that. It's pretty useful, and you can do an entire data analysis process through Excel. It has all the things. This information that you have, what you call data, can come from a lot of sources, and you might not need to copy individual row or column into Excel. Excel has given us a lot of tools within it so that we can take data from different sources and put that in the spreadsheet. So since data is available in varieties of format and conversations, we can take all of that and we can convert it into an Excel spreadsheet. So there are a lot of tools in Excel. So there are tools like conditional formatting, which can make the spreadsheet look different for each different value that we have. We can do formatting based on a condition. Suppose if a value exists and it keeps on increasing every month, and suppose we have a threshold of value, if that particular value goes above that threshold, it will get marked. So for marking, we can use formatting. So we can do that on basis of a condition. Excel gives us that. Ranges is how big your data is, and you want to call it a name, because every time you select the data to perform suppose a mathematical function or any other kind of text string function, you can name that entire table, entire range of values as a name. Suppose if you have sales data, you can type sales underscore data and you can name it. That's the power of ranges. There are tables which are more useful, and that's what mostly we'll be working in. You can convert the existing data into a table so we can filter it quickly and we can perform a lot of wrangling over there. There are text functions, date functions, time function, and financial functions. All these are used for performing analysis. We can wrangle data. So there is a text function. Suppose you have a text, okay, and you need to split it, and suppose that exists only within one record and you want to split it. You can use text functions for that. You can use a split function. Yes, there's a date function. Suppose if you are dealing with time series based analysis, what then? You can use the date function to take out individual component of the time. So there's a time format which is hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds, goes on, right? If you want the minutes, you can take that out. There's also a date part where you can take the month out of the existing date. So date and time functions can be really useful in that. So financial functions are those advanced functions that they use in the financial world. Excel is mostly and mainly used by the financial industries because financial data is based on a month-to-month basis, right? Every month there's a report that needs to be generated. And what happens then? They make use of Excel to give out monthly or yearly report because the data is not that big. So Excel is really useful for doing all this financial analysis. Okay, there's a quick analysis tool, what if analysis, which I told you is all about scenario. You can build scenarios in it. Suppose if you have a column there and you can use that column for performing a future analysis. Suppose if a value falls down for the next month. Suppose if you have a column and the values are decreasing next month, you can use that to perform a what if analysis based on the scenario. Pivot table, which I told you, it's all about taking rows and columns and putting that row or column in the way that you want. You can take the columns and you can arrange it the way that you want just by a single click or a single drag of the column. That's pivot table, which is the gold of MS Excel. This Power View and this Power Map, these are nothing but making use of the maps when we want to display location, we want to display geography there. We can Power View can be used for having different kind of views in data. We can make use of different views for different stakeholders. So you see Excel, even though we cannot deal with big data, thousands and millions of rows, it still is pretty powerful. And that's the power of Excel. The next slide. So I explained to you about how Excel is useful for data analysis, right? How the intro to Excel is enough for you to learn data analysis. So the first step, after you have done the requirement of what you need to understand from the data, you will need to clean it. So what does Excel have in store for us if we want to clean it? So we have Excel at our disposal, and Excel has a lot of tricks, have a pointers, and data cleaning can be done from that. One of Excel's most fundamental features is data cleaning itself, and it becomes way easier. You wouldn't need to write a code for it. You can make use of Excel for that. You might discover how to use an Excel feature built in and how to use Power Query to achieve the same result. Yes, and there is an add-in Power Query available in every Excel version. We'll be learning in the newest Excel version, Excel 2021. But even if you're in an old one, 13, 16 and 19, you can make use of that. It's available in every space. And most of the functions are available throughout the Excel releases. So this Power Query will enable us to quickly extract, transform and load your data. Everything that we do at the start of the course can be done with Power Query. But we'll be having a look of all of the functions that we have at our disposal. So few functions that exist are removing duplicates. Suppose if a data exists in multiple places, it's a repeated data, maybe an error in human work, that might be a reason. You can make use of Excel to remove that just by a click. That's how it works. You can make use of if statement here. So if statement is an infamous statement. It's used to have different scenarios, and we can provide different condition values based on the if statement. There's a min and max. There's also an average, which gives us the value of minimum. Yes, There's a splitting of text to columns, which I told you about how we can split the name into two parts. We can even concatenate the name again. We can put a space, or we can change that to upper or lower case. There's also a find and replace function. If a mistake exists within our data table, we can find that mistake by the name or the value written in it, and we can replace the entire thing. That's Excel data cleaning. That's in short what Excel data cleaning can be done. The next slide. So data analysis in Excel. So the main part of it, yes, data analysis in Excel can be huge actually. You can do a lot, as I said you before. So after this cleaning process is done, right, then data is analyzed using tools available in the Microsoft Excel. Okay, this performance of the Excel tool is excellent actually. Most commonly used tool here is pivot table. Pivot is the most perfect tool Excel has given us for data analysis. We can extract the significance from a large detailed data set, and we can create visualization on that. You don't need to copy each and everything again and again. Pivot table does the job for you. There's also a quick analysis tool you can use to get some predefined analysis based on data. It can take a range of data that you have created. Like for example, on the picture here, there's a lot of data here. Everything is filled with model 1, model 2, yes, so and so. Next, you can take all this data, and this quick analysis tool will help you to pick the perfect chart within just a few commands. You have different kind of data, so different kind of data needs to be displayed in different format. So you might not need to go and look into a lot of documentation of how design works, yes, which will be good, what will be perfect for me to use in the final report, yes. You might need to do a research for that, but Excel has given you the quick analysis tool, which is just excellent tool, which will give you what is the perfect chart you can use. So Excel again showing why it's enough for a data analysis. Okay, next slide. So data analysis in Excel and data visualization. So this is the final part of analysis. This is interpreting the data that you have analyzed. Yes, and for this you can usually write text and display that in statement. This is what the data says. This is how we got the revenue, the sales. Yes, but reading that out again and again gets a little monotonous, and that can be an issue there. So we make use of visualization there. There are a lot of visualization, like I said before, and choosing them is tough, but you have quick analysis. Also, when you use data and want to display visuals, you will get a hang of what to use and when. So, for example, if there's a data about time, okay, suppose there are sales over time that exist. Now, what do you need to do? Will you use a pie chart and divide the data over each time period? That will be a lot of segmentations there. You'll be looking into each date. Not a good thing, right? So what you do for that is you plot it. It's called as time series analysis graph. Okay, you have the data date available and in the column, okay, and you have the value. Suppose it's the sales, let me say it's the revenue, okay, revenue, yes, within a currency on the y-axis, okay, the vertical. So the horizontal axis has the time and the vertical axis has the records, revenue. Okay, now you can take it and you can display how through the years or through the months or dates or days the data of the revenue is shown, how the revenue has gone up or down, and you can do that with data visualization. This feasibility that Excel offers to you is much simple. You just need to click. You don't need to write a lot of code for this. Okay, Excel offers user to design visual charts. It can provide viewers with a clear understanding of data they are reading. Depending on the data in your table, different visualization types are available. For few visualization, pie charts, bar charts, line graph, donut charts. There's also funnel charts. There are a lot of charts out there. This entire module might get over, but naming all those charts will not. There are a lot that you can use. So we're done with the second module where we learned about data analysis and how that can be used in Excel with just data collection, data cleaning, and data analysis and data visualization.